Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at every single nickel in your pocket. If you've been spending dirty old Jefferson Monticello nickels without even looking at them, you could be throwing away hidden treasure every single day. I'm talking about silent fortunes disguised as ordinary 5-cent coins. Little pieces of metal that people drop into tip jars, lose under their couch cushions, or hand to cashiers without realizing they could be worth hundreds, or in rare cases, even thousands of dollars. Today we're counting down some of the most fascinating Monticello nickels ever searched by collectors, and we're starting with a coin almost everyone has seen but almost nobody truly examines: the Jefferson Monticello nickel. This coin has been hiding in plain sight for more than 50 years, and some examples have shocked collectors because of rare mint errors, outstanding condition, and incredible auction prices. As this countdown continues, every coin becomes rarer, more valuable, and more unbelievable than the last, so don't skip a single second. The final coin could completely change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Before you spend another nickel, stay with me until the very end, because your next life-changing discovery could already be sitting in your home right now. The coin number one is 1974 Jefferson Monticello nickel. May look like nothing more than a worn-out 5-cent coin, especially if it is scratched, dirty, or covered with decades of grime. Most people would never give it a second glance. They toss it into a jar, leave it in their car's cup holder, or spend it without a second thought. But what if I told you that some 1974 nickels have surprised collectors with incredible value? Hidden among millions of ordinary coins are rare varieties, unusual minting mistakes, and exceptionally preserved examples that have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The amazing part is that many of these coins looked completely ordinary before someone decided to inspect them closely. That is exactly why experienced collectors never judge a coin by its appearance alone. A dirty coin may simply need careful examination before revealing a remarkable story. The year 1974 was an important time in American history. Inflation was rising, the economy faced uncertainty, and the United States Mint continued producing hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels for everyday commerce. These coins were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most entered circulation immediately, passing through countless hands over the decades. As years went by, they picked up scratches, stains, discoloration, and signs of heavy use. Today, finding a worn 1974 nickel is extremely common. However, finding one with an unusual mint error, a strong strike, or a rare collectible characteristic is another story entirely. Those special pieces have become exciting discoveries that continue to attract collectors from around the world. One of the biggest reasons collectors search through rolls of 1974 nickels is the possibility of mint errors. During the minting process, even a tiny mistake could create a coin unlike any other. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, and broad strikes are only a few examples of errors that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Imagine discovering that the dirty nickel sitting in your pocket has a noticeable doubling on the lettering, or was struck incorrectly decades ago. Suddenly, that ordinary 5-cent coin becomes something collectors actively seek. These fascinating mistakes remind us that perfection is not always the most valuable outcome. Sometimes the flaws create the greatest treasures. Condition also plays an enormous role in determining value. While most dirty 1974 nickels are worth only face value, a coin with minimal wear, sharp details, and original mint luster can command a significant premium. Professional grading services carefully examine every detail under magnification, assigning grades that directly influence market value. A high-grade example with beautiful surfaces may sell for far more than collectors expect. Even among circulated coins, those showing unusually sharp details or attractive natural toning often stand out. This is why experienced collectors recommend examining every nickel carefully before deciding it has no value. Many people believe dirt automatically ruins a coin, but that is not always true. In fact, cleaning a collectible coin can reduce its value dramatically. Dirt often protects the original surface beneath, and collectors generally prefer untouched coins over polished ones. If you discover a dirty 1974 nickel that appears unusual, resist the temptation to scrub it clean. Instead, place it safely in a protective holder and examine it under good lighting. You may notice small details that were hidden before, an unusual strike, a die crack, or another characteristic that makes your coin unique. Sometimes patience is worth far more than a shiny appearance. Another exciting aspect of collecting the 1974 Jefferson nickel is searching through bank rolls and old family collections. Thousands of collectors enjoy the thrill of coin roll hunting, purchasing rolls of nickels from banks and inspecting every single coin. Most searches end with ordinary finds, but every now and then someone discovers an impressive error coin or a beautifully preserved example that has survived for decades. Stories like these inspire collectors to continue searching because the next valuable coin could appear in the very next roll. The excitement comes not only from the possibility of profit, but also from uncovering a forgotten piece of American history. The design of the Jefferson nickel adds another layer of appreciation. The obverse features President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse proudly displays his famous home, Monticello. Every detail, from the columns of the building to the lettering around the rim, offers clues about the quality of the strike. Strongly struck examples display crisp architectural details that weaker strikes often lack. Collectors study these features carefully because they help distinguish average coins from exceptional ones. A sharp strike combined with an attractive surface can transform a common date into a highly desirable collectible. Auction records have shown that exceptional 1974 Jefferson nickels, particularly those with rare errors or outstanding certified grades, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. These sales surprise people who assume modern nickels have little value. While the average circulated coin remains worth only 5 cents, extraordinary examples demonstrate how dramatically rarity and condition affect price. Every record-breaking sale encourages more collectors to search their pocket change, hoping to uncover the next overlooked treasure hidden among ordinary coins. Before dismissing your old nickels, take a closer look at the mint mark. Nickels from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco each have their own collecting appeal. Some collectors specialize in complete mint mark sets, while others focus exclusively on rare errors from a particular mint. Learning where your coin was produced helps you understand its history and potential value. A simple detail located near Jefferson's portrait may reveal far more than most people realize. Sometimes that tiny letter becomes the first clue that your coin deserves a second inspection. There is also an emotional side to collecting that cannot be measured in dollars. Every worn 1974 nickel has traveled through restaurants, stores, vending machines, banks, and countless pockets over the past several decades. Imagine the people who carried it, the purchases it helped make, and the historical moments it silently witnessed. Coins are miniature time capsules connecting us to everyday life in another era. Whether valuable or not, each one tells a fascinating story that continues every time someone discovers it again. So before you spend another dirty 1974 Jefferson Monticello nickel, slow down and inspect it carefully. Use a magnifying glass, compare it with trusted reference images, and look for unusual features that separate it from ordinary examples. The search itself is part of the adventure, and even if you do not find a rare variety immediately, every coin teaches you something new about American numismatic history. The greatest discoveries often happen when collectors least expect them, and the next incredible find could already be sitting in your change jar waiting for someone curious enough to notice. Now that you've seen why the humble 1974 Jefferson Monticello nickel deserves far more attention than most people give it, don't stop here. because the next coin in this countdown becomes even more exciting. The rare varieties, astonishing mint mistakes, and unbelievable auction prices only get bigger from this point forward. Make sure you stay until the very end because the final coin has shocked seasoned collectors and could completely change the way you look at every 5-cent coin in your pocket. The second coin is 1977 Jefferson Monticello nickel, is one of those coins that most people never think twice about. Millions of Americans have carried one in their pockets, dropped one into vending machines, or tossed one into a coin jar without realizing that some examples could be far more interesting than their face value suggests. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but experienced collectors know that every coin deserves a closer look. A dirty, worn 1977 nickel may seem worthless, yet hidden among countless common examples are coins with exceptional condition, unusual minting characteristics, and rare errors that have captured the attention of collectors for years. That is exactly why this coin continues to be searched by numismatists across the United States, proving that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can hold the most exciting surprises. The 1977 Jefferson nickel was struck during a period when the United States Mint was producing enormous numbers of coins for everyday commerce. Mint facilities worked tirelessly to meet public demand, creating millions of nickels that quickly entered circulation. These coins were used in grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, and countless other places across the country. As decades passed, many became scratched, stained, and heavily worn from constant use. While most circulated examples remain worth only face value, collectors understand that not every coin from this year is exactly the same. Differences in strike quality, preservation, and mint errors can make certain examples far more desirable than ordinary circulated pieces. One of the first details collectors examine is the mint mark. In 1977, Jefferson nickels were produced at different United States mint facilities, and identifying where a coin was struck is an important step in evaluating it. The mint mark, along with the overall quality of the strike, helps collectors understand the coin's origin and potential appeal. Some nickels display crisp, well-defined details on Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building, while others show weaker strikes caused during production. Careful observation can reveal characteristics that separate an average coin from one worthy of closer study. Mint errors are among the biggest reasons collectors continue searching through rolls of 1977 nickels. During the minting process, machinery occasionally produced coins with unexpected mistakes, including doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, or other unusual features. These errors occurred accidentally and could never be intentionally recreated once the coin entered circulation. Because genuine mint errors are scarce, they often attract significant collector interest. Discovering one in pocket chain remains a dream shared by coin hunters everywhere, making every 1977 nickel worth at least a quick inspection before spending it. Condition plays an enormous role in determining collectible value. A heavily worn nickel that has circulated for decades will usually be worth only 5 cents, but a coin preserved in outstanding condition is a completely different story. Collectors prize examples with sharp details, clean surfaces, and strong original luster. Professional grading services evaluate these qualities carefully, and coins receiving high grades often sell for impressive premiums compared with ordinary circulated examples. Even among common dates, exceptional preservation can transform an overlooked coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Many people make the mistake of cleaning old coins, believing that a shiny appearance automatically increases value. In reality, cleaning often damages the original surface and can reduce a collectible coin's desirability. Experienced collectors generally prefer coins that remain in their natural state, even if they appear dirty or toned with age. If you find a 1977 nickel that seems unusual, it is usually better to leave it untouched and examine it carefully under good lighting. The original surface may contain important clues that help determine whether the coin is ordinary or something special. Coin roll hunting has become one of the most popular ways to search for collectible Jefferson nickels. Collectors obtain rolls of coins from banks and carefully inspect every nickel, hoping to discover a rare error, an unusually high-grade example, or another hidden treasure. Although most searches reveal only common coins, the excitement comes from knowing that every roll holds the possibility of an unexpected discovery. Stories of remarkable finds continue to inspire both beginners and experienced collectors to keep searching, because valuable coins still occasionally appear in everyday circulation. The reverse of the 1977 nickel features Monticello, the historic Virginia home of President Thomas Jefferson. Collectors study the details of this famous building closely, looking for strong architectural features that indicate a sharp strike. Clear columns, crisp lettering, and well-defined steps can all contribute to a coin's visual appeal. Even subtle differences in strike quality can influence collector interest, making careful examination an important part of evaluating any Jefferson nickel. Auction results have shown that ordinary dates can achieve surprising prices when they possess exceptional quality or significant mint errors. While the average circulated 1977 nickel remains worth face value, certified high-grade examples and dramatic error coins have attracted strong bidding from collectors. These sales remind us that rarity is not determined by age alone. Instead, a combination of preservation, scarcity, and unique characteristics often determines a coin's true market value. Beyond its potential value, the 1977 Jefferson nickel represents an important piece of American history. Every coin has traveled through countless hands over nearly 5 decades, witnessing everyday life in ways that history books never record. It may have been carried by students, workers, travelers, or families making ordinary purchases. Every scratch tells part of its story, connecting today's collectors with the people who used the coin many years ago. One of the greatest lessons this coin teaches is the importance of paying attention to the small details. Valuable discoveries rarely announce themselves. Instead, they reward patience, curiosity, and careful observation. A magnifying glass, good lighting, and a willingness to learn can reveal characteristics that most people overlook. Many remarkable collections have begun with a single coin that someone almost spent without a second thought. So before you spend another 1977 Jefferson Monticello nickel, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look for unusual features, check its condition, and appreciate the history it carries. While most examples are common, a small number possess characteristics that make them truly collectible. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching year after year. The next valuable nickel may already be sitting in your pocket, waiting for someone curious enough to discover its hidden story. The third coin in today's countdown is the 1979 United States 5-cent coin, better known as the Jefferson nickel, and at first glance it looks like one of the most ordinary coins you could ever find. Millions of Americans carried these nickels in their pockets, dropped them into vending machines, and tossed them into jars without a second thought. Yet every single 1979 nickel represents a fascinating piece of American history, connecting us to an era of economic change, technological progress, and everyday life in the late 1970s. While most examples are worth only their face value today, collectors still search through thousands of these coins hopping to discover exceptional high-grade pieces or unusual minting errors that can make a coin much more desirable. The history of the Jefferson nickel stretches back long before 1979. The design was first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and one of the nation's founding fathers. Sculptor Felix Schlag created the original design, placing Jefferson's portrait on the front and his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. By the time the 1979 nickel was struck, this classic design had already been familiar to Americans for more than 4 decades, making it one of the most recognizable coins in circulation. The obverse of the 1979 nickel features a distinguished portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. Around the portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1979. Every detail was carefully engraved to reflect Jefferson's importance in American history. His contributions to the Declaration of Independence, his presidency, and his vision for the young nation make him one of the most celebrated figures ever featured on United States coinage. Even after years of circulation, many 1979 nickels still display the strength of this timeless portrait. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate located in Virginia. Above the building appears the word Monticello, while below are the inscriptions 5 cents and United States of America. Encircling the top edge is the national motto, EPLURIBUSUNUM, meaning out of many, one. The reverse design symbolizes both architectural beauty and the lasting legacy of Jefferson, whose home remains one of America's most visited historic landmarks. The year 1979 itself was a memorable one in American history. The United States was experiencing significant economic challenges, including high inflation and rising energy prices, while new technologies were beginning to reshape daily life. Through all these changes, the humble Jefferson nickel continued to circulate from hand to hand, paying for newspapers, candy, bus fares, and countless everyday purchases. Today, holding a 1979 nickel is like holding a small piece of that remarkable period in American history. The United States Mint produced 1979 nickels at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, with San Francisco striking proof coins for collectors. Philadelphia coins from that year did not carry a mint mark, while Denver examples feature a small D mint mark. Proof coins produced in San Francisco display an S mint mark and were specially struck with polished dies and carefully prepared planchets, resulting in brilliant mirror-like surfaces that stand out from regular circulation coins. Although the vast majority of 1979 nickels are common, collectors pay close attention to condition. Coins that remained untouched in original mint rolls or carefully preserved collections often display sharp details, bright luster, and minimal contact marks. Professional grading services evaluate these coins using the Mint State grading scale, and exceptionally high-grade examples can command premiums because flawless surviving pieces become increasingly difficult to find decades after their release. Another exciting reason collectors examine 1979 nickels is the possibility of mint errors. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, and other production mistakes occasionally escape the mint and entered circulation. While genuine error coins are relatively uncommon, authenticated examples often attract strong interest because every error tells the story of something unusual happening during the minting process. Careful examination under good lighting and magnification is essential before assuming a coin is an error. One of the greatest lessons the 1979 Jefferson nickel teaches collectors is the importance of patience. Many valuable discoveries are not the result of rare dates alone, but of outstanding preservation or unusual minting characteristics. Searching through old coin jars, inherited collections, and bank rolls can be both enjoyable and educational, helping collectors learn about history while developing an eye for quality and authenticity. Every coin has a story, even when its monetary value remains modest. For beginning collectors, the 1979 nickel is an excellent addition to a Jefferson nickel collection because it is affordable and widely available. It offers an opportunity to study mint marks, compare different grades, and learn how coins change after decades of circulation. Building a complete Jefferson nickel set can become a rewarding hobby, encouraging a deeper appreciation for American history, art, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. As you continue checking your pocket change, don't overlook the 1979 Jefferson nickel simply because it appears ordinary. While most examples are worth only 5 cents, exceptionally preserved coins and authenticated mint errors may be worth considerably more to collectors. The real excitement comes from learning the history behind each coin and understanding why millions of these nickels played such an important role in everyday American life. Sometimes the greatest treasure is not a fortune in value, but the remarkable story carried by a small piece of American history that has survived for generations. The fourth coin in today's countdown is the 1980p United States 5-cent coin, widely known as the Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it may seem like nothing more than an ordinary piece of pocket change, but every coin carries a story that reaches far beyond its face value. The 1980p nickel represents a fascinating chapter in American history, reflecting the nation's economy, technology, and daily life at the beginning of a new decade. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of shoppers, workers, students, and families, making them an enduring symbol of everyday commerce in the United States. While most circulated examples remain worth 5 cents, collectors continue to search for exceptional high-grade pieces and genuine mint errors that can be worth much more than face value. The Jefferson nickel has a long and respected history that began in 1938 when it replaced the famous Buffalo nickel. The new design honored Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, the coin featured Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and his historic Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. By the time the 1980 issue was released, Americans had already become familiar with this classic design, which had served the nation faithfully for more than 40 years and remained one of the most recognized coins in circulation. The obverse of the 1980p Jefferson nickel proudly displays a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1980. Just beside the date is the small P mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This was a significant period in American coinage, because Philadelphia had only recently begun placing the P mint mark on Jefferson nickels, making these coins instantly recognizable to collectors who pay close attention to mint varieties. Turning the coin over reveals the beautiful image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic plantation home located in Charlottesville, Virginia. Above the building appears the word Monticello, while below are the inscriptions 5 cents and United States of America. Along the upper rim is the national motto, EPLURIBUSUNUM, meaning out of many, one. The reverse design symbolizes both American architecture and the lasting legacy of Thomas Jefferson, whose influence on the nation's history continues to be celebrated through this enduring coin. The year 1980 marked the beginning of a new decade filled with both challenges and opportunities for the United States. Inflation remained high, energy concerns affected daily life, and technological innovation was beginning to reshape American homes and businesses. Throughout these changing times, the humble Jefferson nickel remained an essential part of everyday transactions. Whether buying a newspaper, making a phone call from a public payphone, or purchasing a small snack, the 1980p nickel quietly served millions of Americans without drawing much attention. The United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels during 1980 to meet the country's demand for circulating coinage. The Philadelphia Mint struck coins bearing the P mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced coins with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint created specially made proof coins with an S mint mark for collectors. These proof coins featured highly polished surfaces and frosted details, making them especially attractive additions to numismatic collections. Although the vast majority of 1980p nickels remain common today, condition plays an important role in determining collector value. Coins that escape circulation and retain their original mint luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces are far scarcer than worn examples. Professional grading services carefully examine these coins, and those receiving top mint state grades often become desirable because pristine examples become increasingly difficult to locate after decades of handling and storage. Collectors also carefully inspect 1980p nickels for genuine mint errors. During the minting process, occasional mistakes such as off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, doubled dies, or other production abnormalities manage to leave the mint and enter circulation. Authenticated error coins are often much more valuable than ordinary examples because they represent unusual events during the coin manufacturing process and are sought after by specialists in error coin collecting. Another fascinating aspect of the 1980p Jefferson nickel is its role in introducing new collectors to the hobby of numismatics. Because these coins remain relatively easy to find, beginners often use them to learn about grading, mint marks, strike quality, and coin preservation. Examining different examples helps collectors understand how wear affects value and why original surfaces and sharp details are so important in determining a coin's desirability. Searching through old jars of change, family collections, estate boxes, or bank rolls can be an exciting adventure for anyone interested in coins. While most 1980p nickels will simply be ordinary circulation pieces, every search offers the possibility of discovering an exceptionally preserved example or a genuine mint error. Beyond any financial reward, the experience teaches patience, observation, and appreciation for the craftsmanship involved in producing America's circulating coinage. More than 4 decades after its release, the 1980p Jefferson nickel continues to connect modern collectors with an important period in American history. Each coin has traveled its own unique journey through stores, banks, cash registers, and collections before eventually finding its way into the hands of today's hobbyists. These small pieces of metal serve as lasting reminders of everyday life in 1980 and preserve a tangible connection to the nation's past. As you continue examining your pocket change, don't overlook the 1980p Jefferson nickel simply because it appears ordinary. While most examples are worth only their face value, carefully preserved high-grade coins and authenticated mint errors can attract collector interest. Every coin tells a story, and the 1980p Jefferson nickel reminds us that history often survives in the smallest objects. Whether you collect for enjoyment, education, or the excitement of discovering something special, this classic 5-cent coin remains an important and fascinating part of American numismatic history.